Sports Court with 13 on your side. The case, we're talking about the Olympic Games. More specifically, should the U.S. Olympic Committee have allowed Sha'Carri Richardson to race in the Olympic Games?
Testimony.
I say yes. There were things that led to her failing her drug test. I understand that's a no-no, but she still could have participated in the game. She could have been racing in the relays instead of the 100-meter dash. I say they should have let the fastest woman on earth do just that.
I want to preface this by saying I am a lot of fun at parties, but rules are rules, and in this instance, you know what, the punishment fits the crime. She violated the rules, and she should be punished. I'm fine with what's going on. I know it's a huge loss for the U.S., but I think at the end of the day, this had to be done.
Cross-exam. Mike, don't you think she could have been punished by being held out of the 100-meter dash, but still allowed to race on the relay team?
You know, I do, but here's the thing. If you're the position of her teammates, and one of your teammates lets you down, well, what happens if she lets you down again in the days leading up to the Olympics? Then you're really in trouble. You want to get your team in order now, so I totally get their position. All right, Jamal, let me ask you this. If the U.S. said, you know what, you can go, what kind of a message would that send to the other athletes who in the past have been punished for similar instances?
Michael Phelps is, without argument, the greatest swimmer in the history of the sport. He too has failed drug tests. Michael Phelps failed a test for cannabis and was suspended for the World Championships. And then still later in his career, went on to race in the Olympics. You can be suspended, but still have some redemption. And I think in this case, the U.S. Olympic Committee could suspend her, hold her out of the event that she runs the best, which is a punishment for her, which is a punishment for the U.S. Olympic team, but then still allow her to race. I think they could have done both.
Closing arguments.
I'm not here to make excuses for someone failing a drug test, but you have to look at the totality of the situation. Sha'Carri Richardson lost her birth mother moments before finding out she was going to run. In a moment of weakness, she turned to cannabis. Not the best decision to make, but as a human being, you understand someone grieving making a decision like that. Sha'Carri chose to do something that breaks the rules of the U.S. Olympic Committee. It was legal to smoke in the state that she was in, but it was not legal under the guise of the U.S. Olympic team. She committed that violation. She should be punished. However, her punishment can still allow her to participate in the Olympic Games, and I think that would have been more than fair.
She had to do what was best for her team, and she didn't do that. You can argue all you want about whether or not it was serious or not, and I think this is something that should be revisited after these Olympic Games, but the bottom line is she violated the rules. She doesn't deserve to compete.
The verdict.
And now we turn the case over to you, the jury. What's your verdict?
We want to hear what you have to say. Head to the 13 on Your Side Facebook page and let us know what you think.
In last week's case, we argued something Jamal just can't let go of. Should Isaiah Thomas have made the dream team?
Well, it seems like most folks were on my side. Scott, Jackie, James, Robin, Dan all said yes, most definitely. Thanks for the support and brilliant opinions.
We're also in Michigan. I think it has something to do with it. Arnell, by the way, brought up a whole other issue. Forget about Isaiah Thomas. The inclusion of Leitner was the biggest mistake USA Basketball made in that 92 Dream Team. Arnell, by the way, I worked with at my first job in Palm Springs. How about that?
No argument from me, Arnell. Speaking of mistakes, hopefully the Pistons avoid that with their top pick in the draft. We'll discuss that next week in Sports Court.